All right, guys, welcome in. It's Tuesday night. We made it to Tuesday. Special shout out to the wife out there who's decided to put up with me for 8 years. And hopefully we keep going anyway. Love her. And we're going to jump right into the show. Got to thank her for letting us pop these shows off tonight. Now we can see all the tornado warnings that were still going on today. All these are at least 3 hours old, but you had tornadoes in Tallahassee, Florida, Peachtree City, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. So just tons of tornadoes. This is like a springtime tornado outbreak going on in December. And yeah, hopefully check. Okay, everything seems to be working fine here. We got to get into some volcanoes and earthquakes and all kinds of stuff tonight. Tons of weather to get into. It's just like never ending. Here's the watches and warnings now. It looks like this storm is almost gone, except for Florida. We got a big storm coming in the upper northwest, and a big heads up for Florida. You guys got more tornadoes coming here in just a couple days. Big storm. So we'll get into all that here a little bit later. Let me pause this and let's jump into some of the news articles and all that stuff. So we got this article come out today from the Los Angeles Times. Tectonic time bomb mapping where massive California earthquakes cause the most shaking and destruction. You know, they're really pushing these the earthquake stuff big time. You know, we've had all the earthquake drills. Earthquakes are ramping up, and volcanic activities ramping up. Makes you wonder if they know something that we don't. Anyway, California has suffered some of the destructive earthquakes in the last few decades. Back in 1971, 1987, 1989, and 1994. All those quakes caused major destruction, but they were not true seismic catastrophes. Much bigger quakes are possible, such as an event along the scale of the 1906 San Francisco quake or the 2011 quake under the New Zealand city of Christchurch. They just got hit with like a 6.0 just a few minutes ago. In fact, let me bring up the earthquake app. We'll get into the earthquakes here in just a little bit. I was going to go through this article, but I do want to get the app up just so I can see which ones have come in. So we've had, hold on, let me let this update. We've had a 6.8 in the Philippines. That was a couple days ago. Why is it not updating? Let's try by date. See if that'll give us the most recent, because my phone just popped off a second ago. So we've had a 5.9 in New Zealand. The depth is just the default depth of 6.2 miles. We had a 4.9 over in Fiji, a bunch of earthquakes over in the Philippines, 5.0. We had a 5.2 in China, 5.1 in Japan. New Caledonia, pair of 5.3s. Philippines getting blasted. So tons of quake activity going off. Anyways, get back into this article. It was a magnitude 6.2, but it became New Zealand's second deadliest quake on record. So they're just right under that right now. They just had the one that just hit is north of where the volcano went off, killing 185 people, destroying large parts of its downtown because it hit directly underneath the city. One of the nation's oldest. Experts say similar quake in California would be much more destructive. And then they want to give you the scenarios. So a hypothetical magnitude 7 earthquake along the San Francisco Bay Area Hayward Fault would cause severe, violent, or extreme shaking along large swaths of the East Bay, North Bay, Silicon Valley, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. So they got a lot of these scenarios and stuff. I forgot to... Here, I got to get my thing up here so that I can save the links for you guys and put them in the... Not the description, but I'll pin it to the comments. So they're calling this San Francisco Bay Area. A report in 2018 by the USGS estimated at least 800 people could be killed, 18,000 others injured in a hypothetical magnitude 7 earthquake rupturing the Hayward Fault through Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond, Hayward, and Fremont. Hundreds more could die from the following an earthquake along the ruptured 52-mile section of the Hayward scenario. More than 400 fires could ignite, burning the equivalent of 52,000 single-family homes, and a lack of water for firefighters caused by old pipes shattering underground could make matters worse. The fault is what we sort of call a tectonic time bomb. The USGS earthquake geologist is just waiting to go off. The Hayward Fault is so dangerous it runs through some of the most heavy populated parts of the Bay Area, spanning the length of East Bay to San Pablo. Out of its region population of 7 million, 2 million people live right on top of the fault line. You know, and it's hard to know if this is just fear porn to get people out of there so they can build the mega cities and then swoop everybody back in here. We're going to get into some of those big smart cities that they're trying to build. You know, if you're going into a smart city, you're not smart. It's a complete, you're just turning into a slave. Anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and look down in here. Yeah, I'm not going to get into all these scenarios. These are all just hypotheticals and all that. And we know they could cause earthquakes with the super low frequencies. The fracking could, you know, cause some major earthquakes. I mean, just everything they do. So we just had Chicxulub volcano just shot off 30,000 foot. And we were looking at that smoke that was going off there in the Aleutian Island chain, and that looks like that might have been a volcano going off. It sure looked like it. So yeah, here's the interactive map. Yeah, so it did go off. So what we were seeing was the smoke. Wonder how you get this full screen, man. I don't know if I can make it full screen. Yeah, smart cities are for dumb people, asleep people. Yeah, I don't know how to make this full view. I guess I can't. Why would they do that? Well, it's going to make it awful hard to see. Is this it? Did I figure it out? Yeah, here we go. Now we got full screen. Hey, thanks out there. All right, so here we're looking at the active volcanoes. So New Zealand, oh, they're talking about earthquakes too. I just want the volcanoes right now. This is the first time I've actually brought this app up, so might have to bear with me here, try to figure this thing out as we go. So this thing went off on December 3rd. You got 3 of them right in a row there. Fuego, December 3rd. So both of them went off on December 3rd, all 3 of them. Or wait, that's just saying the last update. Well, how about a up to date, man? Don't they have this like right now? That was back on November 25th, ash advisory. Yeah, so right here is where we've seen the flume of smoke coming out. Yep, December 14th, volcanic ash advisory. It's a stratovolcano. And what's this other one over here? Cleveland volcano. Last update was November 30th. Lava infusion in the summit of the crater. So along with all the earthquakes that are popping off, you know, we just had a big ass earthquake down here in New Zealand. We've had some super deep earthquakes. In fact, let's just go ahead, if I can bring the broadcaster back up, let's go check the earthquakes. And I should have the earthquake 3D up. And we'll see if it pops in here. Might take it a second. Alright, so here we go. So yeah, that one just went off. They're calling it a 5.9. That the thing's like right on the ground. Pretty sure that's preliminary. You know, when you look, I'm no Dutch sense, but when you follow his work, he shows how these big, deep earthquakes turn into bigger, shallower earthquakes. And you can see right here, you had this super deep quake. And I don't even see the, so that was like a 5.3. So then you turn around and get a 5.9. So bigger earthquake. Right here you got the deep 4.4. And then you get a 5.8. So like these deeper earthquakes are going to lead to the bigger, shallower quakes. You look right up here in Alaska. Looks like you got a deep 3.2. And then the shallower quakes are, it looks like about a 3.5. So you haven't had the big one there. Hey, thanks out there, Swamp Fox News. Look at that. We've had a 4.3 in California. And this is just the last day. We can turn this up to like the last 7 days and just look at the planet, man. We're getting just bombarded. Look over here. Down in South America, man, that's a stack of quakes. Mega stack. Then you had this one here in the Antarctic Ridge. So they're even popping off down on the Antarctic Ridge. A 5.0 or 5.8. I can't hardly read that. That's really hard to read. And I don't know what that's looking like on there, so let me turn that back down just so we can check this out. Let me turn the magnitudes up to about a 4 or 5. There, so this will be all the 5 activity. Why is there none over here on this side of the planet? So basically all this, you know, 5 level earthquake's gonna keep on traveling right on around. Should be going across the Pacific. And we've seen the stack out there. So it looks like the whole earth is quaking between, yeah, these are all 5s here. Between the 5 to 6 level of seismic activity. That's weird, man. Why aren't they showing up on the... How come we're not getting any? So all the earthquake activity is a lot smaller once you get over here towards the United States. But that's probably going to ramp up. Look at this deep quake right here off the... Is that in Japan right there? Yep, that's in Japan. Here, let's jump to the USGS. Hey, thanks out there again, Swamp Fox. Yeah, we'll jump into the USGS. It might be a little easier to navigate here. Like, it's been a while since I got on this earthquake thing. Well, if I can find the browser. All right, there we go. All right, so here's the latest quakes. And now I've lost my other browser. There we go. Now I can see everything. That's funny. All right. There we go. I'm a little slow tonight. You know, we had this one earthquake. Where is it at? It was on here. This sucker was deep, man. I mean, I'm talking like 500, 600 feet deep. Where'd it go? It was on here just a minute ago. Try to get this up here. 540 kilometers deep south of the Fiji Islands. And that's right there where the bigger earthquake just hit. So you had a 4.9 at almost 550 kilometers deep. And then just a few miles away, you get this new almost 6.0. So that's almost that's a full magnitude from a 4.9 to a 5.9. That just proves Dutch's theory, you know, that the deeper earthquakes cause larger, shallower quakes. I mean, we see it almost on a daily basis. The one thing we other see is this, all the seismic pressure moves around. It starts over in where the deep earthquakes hit, then it pushes on around. So it kind of gives you a little heads up. Like we know right now, over here where the volcanoes are going off and the other earthquakes here on the west coast, we know we're looking for at least 5.0 activity. Where is it at? It's coming in. We're starting to see more down here in Hawaii. I did a report the other day on how the volcano that just went off, you know, a couple years ago is starting to fill with water, and that could create like explosive, you know, like an explosive volcanic thing that could be like really bad. Look at that. We got an earthquake out here out in the middle of nowhere. These are probably all volcanoes down in there. Anyway, that's pretty good on this stuff. All right, check this out. Chicago doubles food and drink tax at restaurants. You know, how do these people in office just keep getting away with this? So Chicago doubles food and drink tax at restaurants. The cost of eating and drinking at Chicago's restaurants will increase in the new year. This is part of the 2020 budget. The tax, which doubled the tax on food and drink by raising it 0.25%. The tax will go in effect on January 1st. The city estimated tax will bring in $20 million a year, aimed to combat an estimated $838 million shortfall in the 2020 budget. City officials describe the tax as adding an extra 25 cents to a $100 restaurant tab. To me, this is robbery. You know, we can't get that far behind on our bills. $838 million. If you don't pay your house taxes in 2 years, they auction off your property. But yet these people can get millions in shortfalls, and then we end up paying for it. I mean, when are people going to stand up? Look at all the other countries that are going through protests, and all has to do with unfair, unjust taxes. So if you don't think it's coming here, it's definitely coming here. They're setting up for it. And then you got what's going on over in where the Paradise Fire, the campfire. A land rush in Paradise. Investors are gobbling up the properties at bargain prices. We knew this was going to happen. When the campfire swept through Paradise last year, barely missing his home, Sean, blah, 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 saw an opportunity amid the devastation. He bought 8 residential lots in Paradise for a fire sale, the price of about $30,000 each. In most cases, the sellers had been burned out and moved away with no intention of returning. He plans to install prefab houses to help rebuild the town and make some money. You know, what they say is the permits are supposed to make the houses more fire resistant and all that nonsense. You know, if you're putting a prefabbed house up, the thing's not going to be any better than what was there. So they talked a lot about many of the sell prices are bargains, at least by pre-fire standards. Lots in Paradise would have been worth $60,000 without a house before the fire. Now they're selling for under $30,000. Properties where homes burned down have been selling recently for a median price of $15,500. The county assessor data showed that the cheapest sale price found in Sacramento was under $10,000. So, you know, they're just, all the people that built there and lived there, their whole lives have been ruined. You know, you're waiting on the money from the PG&E. You know, they're saying there's the building permits and stuff, that the housing manufacturers are months behind schedule, so nothing's going to get done very quick. And then you got to get through all the regulations. Lack of contractors in the area. Construction bids on houses are more than $300 per square foot. That's twice as expensive as a pre-fire construction cost. Man, it's just robbery. Paradise couple claims the campfire destroyed their $280 million emerald, but PG&E wants proof. Hey, we have proof that you've killed many people. Pay up. All right, here's the future of smart cities. 5 major projects proposed in North America. Future smart cities to feature blockchain, digital networks, driverless cars. As 2019 comes to a close, many of us turn our attention to the new year and what the future holds. So you got an innovation park in Nevada. In November 2018, cryptocurrency millionaire Jeffrey Burns revealed plans to develop a large parcel of Nevada's desert into a smart city powered by blockchain technology. For example, occupants of Innovation Park would be able to bank, vote, store data in the blockchain without including middlemen companies or the government. You got one going on in Belmont, Arizona. Bill Gates, 25,000 acres of unpopulated desert in West Phoenix. Hey, isn't that where that train to nowhere is going? Arizona, with the intention of building a new smart city called Belmont. Same thing, they're going to use autonomous vehicles, logistic hubs, 80,000 residents, accommodating a population of 182,000 people. You got one going up in Massachusetts, Union Point. Then you got one going up in Toronto, Canada, and a smart forest city in Cancun. You know, what they don't tell you is this blockchain and cryptocurrency technology, you know, they're going to see what you make. They have control. I mean, it's just going to be complete control of your lives. Everything will be facial recognition. This is like China, you know, socialism, communism. It's all, you know, this is no freedom whatsoever. This is just a hyped up prison where you probably have no say in anything. Here's the smart forest city covered by 7.5 million plants for Mexico. So instead of helping the climate change by planting more trees, they're going to cut out a huge section of the forest. We're seeing this everywhere. So, you know, everything they say about the climate change, they do the exact opposite. What do you think all the construction to build all these smart cities, what do you think that does by the way of emissions and environmental, all the products that they have to use? It's all a lie, man. This is all just for them to make money and then to have control of your money. And then if an EMP comes through, you just lose everything. Now, this came out yesterday. The part of the Upper Peninsula approaching 10 feet of snow already. Snowbanks tower over the sidewalks. Upper Peninsula, many longtime residents are saying they have never seen this much snow so early in the season. So Twin Lakes, Michigan area, 116 inches of snow have fallen. Remember that the lakes up here are way above normal. 47 inches of snow in the last 7 days. And what it is, it's because of the atmospheric river. It's not going to change until they steer it. Hey, thanks out there again, Fox Swamp. You're killing it there. A very snowy start to the winter. And that's why I said, like, at the beginning, or I'd say around July, August, I was telling you, man, if this atmospheric river that they have steered in place, we could be seeing some of the biggest amounts of snow ever in history over the United States. And I'm sticking to it. I mean, we're really not even into wintertime hardly. And we're seeing, you know, snows. Well, I'd like to have that. We're seeing snows that are 120 inches per snowstorm up in some parts of British Columbia. Places are getting a whole year worth of snow in like one night. Over in Iceland, we had the 150-mile-an-hour winds like a week ago. 10 feet of snow buried a whole town. Killed a bunch of horses. The horses were buried alive in the snow. I mean, they were able to save a few of them. The Chinese, here's some more propaganda here. The Chinese Navy's building an incredible number of warships. You know, they always talk about the Russian, you know, stuff like that, man. The final war between superpowers will not be against Russia. It's going to be against China. We can see all the big moves that they're making. They have all the underground areas. You know, Russia's small, really, compared to China as far as the size of their military and stuff like that. The technology. So that's just going on there on the war front stuff. We got this stupid technology here. Sea Dog Systems Incorporated. Wave converter carousels. Supplies abundant drinking water power offshore or shore-based primary energy systems along with grid scale freshwater distribution. These, you know, they act like this is new technology. China and Japan, they've been using this stuff for 20 years or so. So they're redesigning the use of our ocean waves. A wave converter carousel. Harvesting wave power. A future without pumped hydro with the development of Sea Dog's artificial head system. You know, this is all just crap. This is a way to steal more money. You know, what is this wind power? Has it done anything? Has it made your bills go down? No, it hasn't. So, I think this is an older article. Let me look. No, December 16th. Okay, a methane leak seen from space proves to be far larger than thought. So the Ohio disaster linked as much methane as the entire oil and gas industries of some nations released in a whole year. This happened in Ohio. The first satellite designed to continuously monitor the planet for methane leaks made a startling discovery last year, but we never heard about it. A little-known gas well accident in Ohio fracking site was in fact one of the largest methane leaks ever recorded in the United States. Did anybody hear about that? And that's something that I pay attention to. And now I kind of, when we see them spots, we know what's going on. Back in 2015, we covered where the whole West Coast had a methane leak coming up out of the ground. Now you get reports of tar coming up out of the ground and, whole areas dropping down 40 centimeters. A lot of earth changes going on. Now, I haven't looked at this. NASA releases never before seen image of a mysterious object arrive from another solar system. Let's see if I can see what this is. So the International Astronomical, I couldn't read it that fast. But I think what they're saying about this thing is it's traveling way faster than like a comet or an asteroid. So they're showing it a comet. Yeah, this is all, who knows with this stuff, man. I'm not even going to get into that. All right, here's a PDF that we're going to drop, or not really a PDF. This is a book. Let me make sure I get this into the links. I got to bring up my thing here. Wow, I think I've already lost one of my other links. Hey, thanks out there, one Adam 12. All right, so this is the index of publications on biological effects of electromagnetic radiation from 0 to 100 gigahertz. This come out in March 1981. Oh, well, this could be kind of hard to scroll. It was booking. Coming out of the University of California, Riverside, Index of Publications on Biological Effects of Electromagnetic Radiation. And I can't remember if I've went over this article before. So this is going to be like a huge document. So this is one that we probably need to just share this thing. And then you can get the real research that was already done on this 5G and all the electromagnetic radiation. Everything is highlighted. And I wish I could turn these documents sideways. In fact, I need to probably make a video. I mean, look how big this is. I probably need to make a video just on this. So this is a whole book that tells you about the electromagnetic radiation that's coming off our phones, coming off the smart devices, coming off the cell phone towers, coming off the NextRads. So, they say they haven't done the research, but there is research out there and it's no good for you. Anyway, let me bookmark that, and I will post that in the deals. That's gonna be a pretty long thing. Hey, remember the other day we went over the penis-shaped worm creatures over on the West Coast? Guess what? We got some down in Australia. Worm-like creatures spotted on the beach earns comparison with California's penis fish. So California beachgoers were recently stunned by the sight of what appeared to be washed up disembodied penises. And other perplexing creature has been spotted on the South Australia beach. The dog didn't see it. I'm glad. Look at that. There's the penis fish. Damn sure does look like a penis. That's pretty gross, man. If I seen a whole flock of them, you'd be like, what kind of experiments are going on? So anyway, they got their own version down here. Look at that thing. That's a big one. So they're a worm-like invertebrate that live in the sand or mud and evacuate burrows. They are known to wash up after storms in South Australia's Gulf and eat a variety of food for the mud, including algae. They got a mouth, so when they're in the mud, they're taking in sand that passes through their gut. They take tiny bites of organic matter out of the sand to digest. There are more than 300 types of these things. So they can range from a few millimeters to half a meter. You know, if a bunch of these start popping up out of the ground, that makes you wonder something's going on underground. They're trying to get away from what's going on underground. Man, that's just disgusting. I wouldn't even be picking that thing up. Gross. So, you know, while Australia's selling off their water rights and selling their water to other countries, the drought forces dairy farmers to slaughter the cows. Industry says milk shortage is possible, man. This is just a war on farmers. This is a war on all the farmers so that they can push the fake meat, the Franken foods, the petri dish, you know, lab-grown meat, plant-based food. So a Sunshine Coast dairy farmer said he had been forced to send his prize milking cows to slaughter as hopes for drenching summer rain began to evaporate. Sad stuff, man. So the farmers are just getting, you know, robbed, screwed, and it's not just in New Zealand, it's everywhere. Look at all the die-offs. You know, how the Soroses and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, how are they still pushing all these buttons? How are they must have some kind of crazy entourage that keeps them guys going. Not to mention they're taking the blood and transfusions from the young. Urgent public health warning after hundreds of children are struck down in highly contagious gastro explosion. This actually came out an hour ago. A health warning has been issued following an outbreak of highly contagious viral gastritis. Outbreaks were reported at 86 child care centers across New South Wales. Oh, this is on New South Wales. You know, they're really pushing the flu stuff way early this year. Every year it seems like they start the flu early, trying to get you to take their poison shots. Now we had these crazy ominous clouds over the north skies in Washington. You know, we see these all the time. And what they say, that the bumpy, billowy light clouds are a sign of unstable air, are usually sided with strong or severe weather nearby, although not always. So they contradict themselves. That was the case this time when just some light rain was in the area. Well, you had all the tornadoes down south. You know they're manipulating the weather when you see stuff like this, man. They got to come up with all these new cloud names because they keep using different techniques to affect the weather. And I've actually seen these before, tornado weather, several times here in Missouri. And, you know, rain bombs. Yeah, they're saying the flu's rampant here in Missouri, but I haven't seen one person sick, man, at all. It's all BS. So, yeah, I've feeling quite a few of them. super soaker storm this week likely to bring the wettest day of the year to Seattle. That's because all the bunker fuel guys are out here loading up the sky, and then you got all the chemtrailers. Eventually, this is going to be that storm that's going to be the superstorm over in the Atlantic. It's going to go all the way across the United States, pop out, and be some kind of crazy storm going over to the UK and all that. What was this article? Oh, this is the other climate change propaganda. The world's supply of fresh water is in trouble as mountain ice vanishes. Well, if they quit using cloud whitening technologies, cloud brightening technologies, they're creating blankets of clouds with the bunker fuel ship operations in our oceans, off our coast. I constantly get questions of what is the bunker fuel. I mean, I've went over it so many times, but bunker fuel is like the leftovers of refining gas. It's real thick. It's like sludge. And what they have to do, they have to heat this stuff to get it to burn. And they're burning it through the engine just like they would any other diesel or biodiesel, but they have to heat it first. And what they do, they use regular biodiesel when they're on the coast so that they can't, you can't see from the coast them dumping this stuff. I mean, rarely, but yeah, you can see it. But I actually had a guy send me a message the other day that works on one of these bunker fuel ships and told me all about this stuff. So they run the cleaner fuels when they're up against the coast, and then once they get off to sea where they don't think anybody's watching, then they flick the tanks. I mean, these things hold thousands and thousands of gallons of this toxic fuel. They're talking about, how much water these glaciers and mountains of snow serve, millions of people. Well, they want to get the population down. So really right here, they're summing up, we got 9 million people here, 3 here. We can wipe out some of these, cut their waterway, move them into the smart cities. It all goes together. Here is the smart city technology stuff. I'm not going to get into that. All right, I think we're done with all the news articles for the night. So let's jump into the weather. So here's our storm that's finally getting off. Probably floods. We'll check out how much moisture we got. Now here's coming up here. We're going to show you that storm hitting the upper northwest. But the storm oh wow, there's just now updating it. I can't even get to the wicked storm down here in Florida on the 21st, 22nd. We'll check this back in a minute. Let's go ahead and check our radar real quick. See where all the storms were popping off. Tornadoes. Look, no aerosols being deployed right now over Texas. That's going to change because they're going to pull the next system down. Let's see here. Let me put that on the Cirrus layer just to see what's going on. I want to get that done with that. Let's just check the watches and warnings real quick. Yeah, so nothing is nothing severe, I don't think, is popping off right now. Hey, thanks out there, Mark. Thanks to everybody that helps us out, man. I mean, it really does. Without you guys help supporting us, man, I couldn't do this. Like, I don't think people realize how much it takes to produce these shows each night. Like, right now, I'm actually this is my last month that I got to pay 2 satellite internet services, and one of them was $300 a month. My new one's $200 a month, but I can stream, you know, in HD. And then you got to factor in the broadcaster. That's $20 a month. The screen capture, $20 a month. And then you got the Skype number, $10 a month. I mean, it just adds up. It takes so much money to try to produce this stuff every night. I mean, I could just sit back and do cell phone videos, but then I cannot show, you know, what we're trying to show. We're trying to show these manipulations. We have to invest the money to try to get this information out. You know, got the YouTube, got to pay YouTube premium, and I mean, it's just ridiculous how much money it costs. People don't realize that. I shared a video on Facebook the other day of these YouTube creators that were showing how much they made for millions of views on their videos. And it showed like, hey, thanks there, Bo. It showed for their videos that were averaging 2 million views, they made like $160, and it took like 2 years to get that $160. I think the best video they had was a 2 million view video that they got $1,800. Hey, thanks out there laughing, Mom. Yeah, it's just nuts, man. You know, I think I have one video that has 3 million views, and they automatically demonetize it because I was talking about the migrant invasion and a rape epidemic that was going on over in Sweden. Never made a single penny on it. Yeah, most industrial heating systems use bunker C number 6 oil in their boilers. Yeah, they're all, see, and that's why, you know, I wanted to make some shirts, and I actually started trying to make shirts, but then YouTube takes, you know, just like the super chat, they take 30% or 3%. I don't want them to make money on shirts, so, you know, if I ever do shirts or anything like that, I'm going to go to a local company, and I'll buy them outright, and then we'll, you know, give some away and all that stuff, but that'll be down the road if we can ever afford a website. So I'm just trying to look here to see if there's any kind of blatant operations going on. They're still seeding all here off the Pacific. Look at them super grids, not grids, but super lines of the aerosols, few being deployed on the backside. But look, it's pretty much chemtrail free over the Midwest. Let me stop that just so I can see. So this is like our 1 day break, 2 day. We get 1 to 2 days break, and then the aerosol campaigns start back up. Let's jump over to the, I actually can see some going on in Nevada. Let's go over to the west side and see if the bunker fuel operations are still out there. Something really crazy tonight is the worldview map right now. Check it out. It's way behind tonight. Like, I can't even get the whole hardly United States. Look, you can't even get the whole United States. Like, what's going on with this? Some nights, you know, it's going great, but look, my different layers, I can't even get the United States. Hey, thanks out there, Gail. Yeah, they make money on Teespring. That's why I didn't do it. I started to do it, and then I found out how much they made. So I was like, man. I really don't even like doing the super chat, but I mean, at least it does help us at the end of the month. So, you know, I hate doing it, but I mean, sometimes we got to just to keep running. Like, my wife wouldn't let me do this if it was costing me $607 a month. That's like a house payment. I don't have that. So this is how far the data is behind. We can't see what's going on out here in the Pacific at all tonight. So I don't know why this thing is lagging so far behind. So I can't even look at where this storm's coming in on the worldview map. Yeah, I mean, this goes back, if you go this way, it goes back to yesterday. This is yesterday's. It's hitting today's. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's just not loading. It's some nights it's way, way behind, and tonight happens to be one of them nights. So I can't see the bunker fuel operations down here. I do see they got a new aerosol campaign down here in Argentina. Could be a little bit of bunker fuel there off of Chile. Still steering the river right up into Madagascar. Here comes the first wave of the storms. You got, they're completely seeding these storms over here. They're pulling the moisture in with the aerosols being deployed. Look at they're already drifting out. You get up here at the top side of this storm, they're just spraying all kinds of crap up here, pulling it right into Iceland. You got mega planes up here, man. Mega aerosols pulling this huge system right on over to Ireland, right on over to the UK, where all the aerosols were being deployed the last few days. They're bringing in the second wave. Heavy aerosols all the way through Belgium, Hungary. Look at all the rain and clouds going on in the desert. They're greening the desert. Pretty soon this is all going to be green. They got mega weather modification programs going on out here. And then you got the United Arab Emirates out here with their weather generators coming out of Dubai. And they're creating all these storms. We've seen the huge aerosol campaign. And now look, now all the moisture's here. We may want to go check the weather generators and see if they got them back on, see if they're talking about it. You got cloud seeding operations and microwaves right here in the Red Sea. Right here is where they want to put more weather generators for the company in Dubai. Let's just see if they're talking about this. Hey, thanks out there, Riding Foot. We'll see if the weather generators are talking about what they're doing right now. So here's the weather generator project. You know, the only way I found out about the YouTube takes, is it 3% or 30% of super chat? Well, the way I found out is my neighbor's house burnt down, and we did like a fundraiser for him, and I paid him in cash, like all the money from the two nights, and it was thousands of dollars. Well, then come time for the end of the month, you know, I was hoping I was going to get that back from the YouTube chat, super chat, and they took 30%. So I end up donating like $1,800 that I didn't have. So I mean, I had to bust my butt to try. It took me like 4 months to get caught back up, man, because I wasn't prepared. I didn't know they did that. So it was like a big financial issue for me that took me quite a while to get through. So trying to see here if they're talking about, so here's December 12th. Okay, let me get down to the articles. See, they're not updating right now. They haven't updated since November 20th. Project Green Desert in the Middle East. I'm trying to see if we can get any of the updated. Yeah, they're not talking about any of the weather modification they're doing right now. They bragged about destroying the cyclones with their weather modification program, their weather generators. Like, here's the last article that they come out with. And normally they're really good about documenting what they're doing. So yeah, here's where they want to install more antenna arrays over here in Jeddah. So on the 11th, 2019, the Dubai weather generator is on. Rain and thunderstorms. Real satellite imagery shows the formation of the rain corridor from the Atlantic Ocean through Jeddah coming towards the weather generator located in Dubai. From the generator in Dubai to the Himalayas, the torch of rain is formed. If we install weather generator in Jeddah, the rain torch will cover all the countries in the Middle East. I mean, they document all this stuff. See, they're going to green the desert, man. That's their goal. They even have a YouTube channel. So you'll never get that. You'd never get that unless you do some super digging. Yeah, PayPal don't take a percentage unless you're like out of the country, and it's very rare that they take anything. It's usually like $1 or something. Hey, thanks out there, iBot. Thanks for all the help out there. I mean, we're good. Like, we'll make it. We're good. I got one more month of the high internet, and then we'll be good for a while. So, all right, we finally got the West to load. Like, you know, we're all in this together, man. We gotta all just keep on just getting the information out is actually more important than anything. All right, so we're taking a look. So it's not really showing a whole lot of aerosols. Let me put it on the microphysics and see if it's still working or if they got it messed up. Wow, I'm not seeing any bunker fuel operations yet. They must have had to go reload. So look, here they were yesterday. So they were way down there. And then you had the secondary operation of bunker fuel north of Hawaii. You can see as the night went, they were, going towards the coast. We're starting to get up into today. And I'm not seeing them over here unless there's just one or two headed towards the bank. So it looks like all bunker fuel operations have just stopped in one day. Let me try to go a little farther south just to see if they're like maybe way down here trying to get to that atmospheric river. So you got to remember when the cold air, yeah, look, there's a few way down here. But nothing like we've seen over the last, so that's yesterday. Let's get it to load up till today. Might take it a second here. Yeah, see what's really weird, man, we spotted all the geoengineering that went into the storms that caused the tornadoes last night. And we could see where they pulled this trough, man. They were using energy down here in the Pacific, and it was going up through Texas, right into the warm side of the storm. And then they sprayed a weird particles down in off the coast of Florida that were being sucked up into that storm. That cold air is heavier and way more dense than the hot air. It should have pushed that, you know, hot air back. But what it did is they had a third ingredient right there, and we seen it last night. We went over it and how it all formed together, and they basically turned a wintertime scenario into a springtime storm. Let me go ahead and check to see if the tropical tidbits is. Let me try to reload this to see if it's updated yet. Because you guys, we got to check these models, man. Big heads up for Florida. So let's see if we got it now. So here comes a pretty heavy storm for the upper northwest. And it's just going to keep hitting. Look, you could have tornadoes up here in Washington on the 20th. But the storm we really need to watch is down here in Florida. And they changed the models. Oh, here it is. So it's actually, yeah, here's December 21st. Look at this storm down here in Florida. This is going to be like a cyclone without the winds. I mean, you'll have some winds on the north side of it. But this is a massive beast storm going right over the center of Florida. And that's as far as I can get right now. That's all they have updated. A direct target over Florida. Whoa, that's weird. They want to start taxing the sex bots, or yeah, that's crazy. So that's as far as I can go, man. So Florida, you're still right in the target zone. More heavy snow for them. So I wonder why these guys are not updating their stuff. Wonder if that's on the YouTube or is that on this site. I was going to take you to their YouTube channel. Yeah, this will be on YouTube. So let's, how do I get to YouTube from here? Let me pause that. Surely I can bring YouTube up. Copy video URL. Let's see if they put out any videos here lately. All right. So see, they have a YouTube channel called Weather Generator by Magnetic Technologies. So their last video was 3 weeks ago. Are negative ions good for you? But you can see they document all their weather control. And they've been doing it, you know, for quite a while. How many subs do they got now? It's not showing. When I first subbed them, they only had like six people, 6 subs. Yeah, so they've been going a while, man. They've been documenting this stuff for quite a while. All right, let's go ahead and jump out of that. And that. Let me just check this one more time. So no warnings over the last 3 hours, so we're all good there. Let's go ahead and just check over this the rest of the way. All right, so look at the fires down here in Australia. They're still burning. They've been burning for months. There's going to be like no forest left down here. And it's right where the highway, the high-speed trains are going in. So this stuff is still smoldered. You can see all the scarred areas all brown. Looks like they might spare Sydney unless the winds change directions, which we see the winds change directions every night. There's going to be no green out here. They need to be planting many more trees. Just trying to see if there's any aerosols. Really not a whole lot of aerosols right now that I can really pull out. They get a lot of bunker fuel operations right here off the coast. I'm not seeing anything blatant right now. New Zealand's getting hit still. Look at this storm right here. So this is right where the earthquake just hit. How big a storm is this here? So that's like 100 kilometers. That's a pretty big little powerful thunderhead right there, and that's right where the earthquake just hit. The big shallow earthquake in the water. We'll see a lot of these chemtrails, like a lot of people don't know, man, we exposed this a while back, but the chemtrailers, the ones that are not pilots in their drones, or even the commercial airliners, you know, even if some of them don't have sprayers, they're using the JP7 bunker fuel. And the JP7 or the JP8 bunker fuel, you can see right here, here's the elements in the JP8. 9,360 parts per billion of aluminum. That's up hundreds of times. If you go back to the JP5, it only had 2,144 parts per billion when they were running the JP5. The jet fuel A, nothing. See, they've made the fuels worse, but yet they're ruining the planet, saying it's helping the planet just by the jet fuel. But as I was going to get back to the planes, these are all ran by a program. It's ran by AI. The pilots are not the ones turning off and on the materials. It's all automated. And I showed the company. I'll go back over that here in the next few nights. I'll try to dig all that stuff back up. It's a program, just like the new program for the drones that are going to be flying around delivering stuff. It's called SkyGrid. But there is another app. In fact, if you go through my video playlist or search for, there's an app for that. I think that's what I named the video, and that's about the company that is creating the software that runs the chemtrail planes. You know, that's why you don't never see them crash, because they're all ran by AI. You know, and everything's compartmentalized, just like the military. Like half the people in the military don't know what the next guy's doing because they don't let you know. And it's kind of like that with the aviation. You got some pilots that come forward. You've got generals that have come forward. You know, they've come forward on this stuff. You know, even the governments have come forward on this. If you go to other countries, they talk about it all the time. I have a whole montage of different states that are cloud seeding and all that stuff. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end this show tonight. And we'll see if we can... I'll try to dig up some of that information on that. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it tomorrow. But, no, summer AI, man, it's like everything, man. It's beyond just the... Wow, I got my... thing is all freaking out here. It's beyond just the pilots. Now you have drones, you have private contractors, and it's hard to, a lot of these aircraft and airliners, they refine their own fuel, so we don't even know what they're putting in the fuel. Like I just showed you that chart that come out of the actual site that tells you what's actually in the chemtrails, or you know, in the fuel burn off. Yeah, really. Anyway, guys, we're gonna call this show. I gotta get my butt to bed. I'm tired as heck tonight. Anyway, guys, much love. Thanks for helping us. Thanks for supporting us, and thanks for sharing this stuff out. Thanks for the mods and all that. Anyway, guys, much love. We'll keep on fighting this as long as they let us keep fighting. Make sure you subscribe to the backup channels, even though I'm having a hard time getting stuff uploaded to them. Hopefully I can send them an email and try to figure out why BitChute quit working, why Brighton quit working on me. And I'll try to get that stuff. I may have to take a night off just to try to get that stuff figured out. Anyway, guys, much love. We're going to play a song called Rise. We all need to rise. If you can't rise up and fight, rise up and share the information. That's what it is. It's a information war right now. Anyway, guys, much love. Catch you on tomorrow. Armor up. Here we go. Let's see if I can get it to even work. It always takes forever to get it to work.